us look at what we need to do when we get tested. First, you need to have a philosophy that Islam has put forward. And if you have this, and this is the most important part of this session, because if you're able to understand this piece, you will never be stressed out again. You will never have frustrations. This is the most important part, because life is not about what comes at you. It is how you react to what comes at you that makes the difference. You know, when the Prophet's son Ibrahim alayhi salam passed away, he was crying. And they were looking at the Prophet and says, you know, you, Rasulullah, you know, crying? As if the Prophet was like breaking up. And the Prophet said, my heart finds acceptance, even though tears are in my eyes for my son passing away, but my heart is filled with acceptance that I trust in Allah's wisdom. So when you understand these few points here that we're going to talk about now, take a deep breath. You will be hopefully in a very good place to deal with anything that comes to you. And this will be the difference between the believer and the disbeliever. This is what will make us so special. That's why we are so special as believers. This is what Islam brings to you now. First of all, when you get tested, always know it is not personal. It is not that Allah is singling you out specially for only this and nobody else is getting this. Never take it personal. You know, some people, when they get tested, why me? Why us? Why now? Especially if they lose a family member. They say, why do we get this? Or they may be a strong believer. Why are these people suffering so much? Why is Allah allowing this to happen? They're such good people. You know, it is not personal. Right? So first thing you need to understand, Allah does not, don't take it personal at all. Secondly, never blame your past for what is happening in your present. This is a really important concept, because when, for example, you're struggling to make ends meet, and then Shaitan comes and whispers to you and tells you, you know, if you had followed Uncle Nazim 10 years ago when he tell you to invest in that Bitcoin or that thing or that, you wouldn't be struggling now. In other words, if you had done something different in your past, you wouldn't be suffering now. This is not an Islamic concept. Whatever has happened in your past, you could not have changed it to do anything else. Because once it has happened, it was from the qadr of Allah. It was from Allah deciding those results. So your past is a series of results that Allah have determined to happen. And so when you get a test in the present moment, you never ever go and blame something in your past, because you cannot return there to fix it. You know, so many people, they feel guilty. Like when a relative dad passed, and then they say, you know, I feel so sad and so guilty. I didn't went and visit him. You know, I went to Trinidad right there. He was right there, and I got busy. I didn't visit him. And we begin to blame ourselves for some past things which we neglected. This is not what we need to do. When uncle passed or your mom passed, well, you have to say, whatever I may have done in the past that was neglectful, I ask Allah to forgive me. And then I now decide what I want to do going forward. The Muslim is always forward looking, forward thinking. We don't dwell too much on what we may have done, should have done, this or that and that. You know, the only thing you look at the past for is what lessons I can pull from it to take to my future. But you don't lament, you don't feel guilty, you don't feel sad, you don't say, what if I had done this, and what if I had, there's a hadith which says, if opens the door to shaitan. So we don't do that. So don't blame your past. Understand that this test that you have now is part of what Allah is bringing to you to make you special. Number 3, treat your tests as challenges. If you call them problems and difficulties, that's a negative connotation. You know, we hate challenge, we hate problems, we hate difficulties, but we love challenges. So when you look at your test as a challenge, it means you get excited, you get competitive, you get optimistic about how do I deal with this. If you look at it as a problem and as a difficulty and as some punishment and trial, then it becomes very difficult to have a kind of upbeat attitude towards it. So look at your tests as challenges. The other thing that Allah has done that is so beautiful is that He will never give you a test greater than your ability. What a blessing. La yakallifullahu nafsan illa wusaha. So every test you have, it's solvable, and you have the ability to solve it. This is something very important. All of your tests are solvable. It's not permanent. It has a finite end that you could solve it, and you have the ability to solve it. No problem will appear before you unless Allah first gives you the ability to solve it. What a beautiful blessing from Allah. Allah gives you the ability first, then He gives you the problem after. So know that whatever you have right now you're dealing with, whether it's your daughter giving you a problem, whether it's your wife giving you a problem, whether it's your husband giving you a problem, whether you lost a job, whether you're starving, whatever it is you have before you that you're dealing with, understand that you have already been given the ability to deal with it, and that it will pass and ease will come. So that's an important perspective in terms of how you approach your challenges. Then know that Allah's wisdom permeates everything. Whatever is happening for you, it is Allah designing your journey towards Him in a particular way. And as Allah says, you plan, and Allah sometimes steer your plan in a different direction because Allah wants you to reach back to Him safely. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi. Returning journey, Allah wants to make you that journey reach safe back to Him. So sometimes Allah helps you to be able to do certain things. As He said, He intervenes in certain moments as He has the ability to do. And as you're striving and making an effort, Allah may come in and direct you in directions that will be beneficial. So we always trust that Allah has a wisdom why He's putting me through this hardship. Because there are certain qualities that this hardship that will provide for me that I need down the road for another challenge. So sometimes Allah gives you a difficulty to prepare you for something that certain qualities that you need to have, and you can only get it through this test in order for you to be able to use it down the road. So Allah's tests, we always trust that Allah is wise, and whatever He's causing me to go through is the best thing for me. And I trust in Him, and I make sure that I understand that. And then hopefulness, we must always remember, no matter who it looked like is running the world, controlling everything, the reality is, Lillahi ma fis samawati wa ma fil. Allah owns everything. Allah is the one ruling everything in the world. Allah is still in charge of the planet. So Allah is there, and Allah says, Allahu waliyul lazina amanu. I got your back. If you're a believer, I will be there protecting you and helping you every step of the way. So in that, we have hope that Allah will make sure that we don't end up in a bad place. La taqnatu min rahmatillah. Allah tells us in the Quran, never lose hope in the mercy of Allah. Allah's mercy is so vast that He has our back. And then patience. Patience, because you know that these tests and all the benefits it's going to bring to you allows you to have patience. Because you now have a new appreciation that I'm being given this difficulty, but look at all the benefits that are going to come from it. And so you become more patient in enduring it and going through it.